Alrighty, people out there in TV land. Here a little bit early, just to make sure everything is working okay. Make sure all the audio, you guys can hear me, and make sure that you guys can see me. All right. We're going to give it a few minutes until the top of the hour. Give everybody a chance to hop on here. Looks like we got Richard. Mark's going to miss this one out. He's at work. Spider-Man Sanctuary already posted on here. James, hello, sir. John, how are you doing? Shay, how are you doing? All right, got some people popping on here now. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I was debating on whether to actually do one tonight, and I know it was kind of last minute, so I don't expect a ton of people on here. Been a busy week at work. I actually was in a meeting yesterday pretty much all day and all night, so couldn't do anything yesterday to give you guys a heads up. Executor, how are you? Thanks, Shay. There's still a lot to do, but I pretty much got everything in place. It's just a matter of putting everything together and cleaning up some stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there looking, and it's a lot better off than what it was, I'll say, a week or two ago. So hopefully, I'll have this wrapped up here in a couple of weeks. Well, I take that back. Probably going to be more than a couple of weeks because I'm going to be on vacation, week after next? The last week of the month, whatever it is. And I will not be here. Yes, James, meetings absolutely suck. Dallas, how you doing, buddy? Oh, that's going all right, man. It's weather is real nice here. I hope it's nice where you guys are at. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes here. Not a lot of people on here. I didn't figure there would be tonight because, again, last minute sort of thing. I wasn't really going to do one tonight, but a lot of people actually text me or message me and ask me if I was going to do one. So I figured, what the hell, just a couple things I wanted to talk to you guys about. So so we're going to wait here in a little bit. I already got a bunch of people dropping off. So I'm curious to wonder, like how these things work. Like, does like StreamYard just or YouTube just like post it out there that there's a live stream going on and people just kind of pick up on it, or what? I'm sure it just sends out notifications to people who are subscribers of the channel. But yeah, just curious how that works. Been doing a lot of video watching today too. Been doing some painting. Actually working on Ghostwriter today, but I've been doing a lot of watching some videos and stuff about trying to get some new ideas about promoting the channel and stuff like that. Trying to get more people out there involved in it and everything. So I got some pretty neat ideas. All right, it is top of the hour. We got a whopping 19 people here. But let's wait just a minute or two because sometimes this thing has a little bit of a delay on it. And we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just going to talk to you guys tonight about making money with 3D printing because I've had a lot of people ask me, different things. They've been wanting to get into 3D printing and making money, making videos, inquiring about sponsorships and things like that. So I'm going to touch base on a little bit of that for you guys tonight. Hey, Quinn, how are you doing? Howdy, sir. So we'll talk about that. And I wonder what clock is right on here because, like, right now it's saying 7:01, and on my cell phone it says 6:59. So I wonder, like, what time is it really or what time does YouTube have it to where they actually send notifications for people to hop on the stream or whatever like that. But anyway, it just the little things that just go through my head. Yeah, all right. Working on Tarna. All right, cool deal. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Not many people on here tonight. I get it. Okay, it's a Thursday night football too. I think what a pissy night for me to choose this, right? I can't remember who's playing tonight, but I know it's not I know it's not Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry if anybody's an Aaron Rodgers fan. I'm a Green Bay fan, so you know how we feel right now. Pretty pissed off that we have to sacrifice a first round draft pick. So, okay, you got your notification 5 minutes before 7. Okay, so it does let you know a little bit ahead of time. Vikings and Eagles. I don't really care about either one of those. So the Vikings. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. I'm sure people will pop on between now and then, but we'll talk. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about making money and getting the hobby to pay for itself. So a lot of people who get into 3D printing all of a sudden realize that it's expensive to get into it when you start forking out your own money for printers, resin, or filament, whichever route you go. And so I got a lot of people that ask me, what do you do how do you print everything that you're printing? And some of you guys see some of the products that I push and stuff on make some videos for and everything. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And then we'll open it up to Q&A a little bit later on, like we always do. We'll kind of just shoot the breeze a little bit. So first off, if this is your first time watching a live stream, thank you for watching a live stream with us. See a lot of repeat people on here. I really want to get a lot of new people on here. So hopefully, hopefully that'll happen one day. The channel is growing still. It's at a steady growth. There's no spike on anything. I'm not getting like an astronomical amount of subscribers and views. It's pretty steady. So, I see some channels that have really taken off, and I'm happy for those guys and everything. So hopefully one of these days that'll happen for us. So anyway, so when I started YouTube, of course, you got to have like something to start off with. And this isn't a video saying that, hey, you don't have to have any hard work or anything like that to get you started. You just wave this magic wand and poof, everything is going to come in your lap, because that's not true. But I will tell you how to get sponsors and get free stuff like resin, like printers, paints, brushes, anything that you could possibly imagine to help you with your painting and your printing. So when I first started with YouTube a couple of years ago, it's just, I didn't know what to really think about or to make a video about. So I actually had to just not overthink it. Sorry, my compressor is going off. And it took just thinking of something simplistic to really go over and just make a video. So it was really, first and foremost, was testing the waters and just kind of seeing what people would really want to view. And the big thing was tutorials. So I started making tutorials right away. So the first thing that I would say is just if you're on a social media platform such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, just make videos. Just start doing it. Don't overthink it. I still kind of do. My wife fusses at me all the time about I'm just overthinking things. And so I really, I'm getting better at it. But that would be my first suggestion. So when you start making videos like I was, for me, I was fortunate enough to where subscribers just started, coming aboard. I did a little bit of stuff for Wicked 3D. I started making models for them, and they weren't paying me or anything, but I just love their models. I started painting, posting on Facebook and everything. So I don't know if I had like a little bit of a following or whatever, but people seem to enjoy the paint ups and everything. So then I started painting the models and doing YouTube videos for them, and that seemed to draw in subscribers and views. Of course, my first few videos were just not that big or anything like that, and I still don't have like huge videos, but it does, they do okay. So that was one of the first things that I did, and that's what I recommend you doing, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or whatever. I'm on all the social media platforms, but I'm not huge on TikTok or Instagram. I'm not making a penny from either one of those as far as any type of revenue. The only thing that I pretty much make revenue off of is my YouTube videos and a couple other things that we'll get into here in a little bit. So you didn't miss anything, Tiny Littles. We're just talking. We just got started. So, and hey, Garrick, how you doing? So anyway, I started making videos, and then of course, you have to get monetized to make any money or whatever like that on YouTube. So that took a little bit, not as long as I thought it would be. I was thinking that was probably going to take like a year, and it only take just a few months. So once you get your 1,000 subscribers, your 4,000 watch hours and stuff, then you start making money. My first revenue check was like $27. I mean, it was like, okay, cool. That's a bottle of resin. So we're getting started here. So that was pretty cool. So, but what happened next was very surprising to me and very unexpected. The one thing that I can say is when you're on a social media platform, make sure that you have some sort of contact information via email or something like that, because I got an email from Lenant Studios or Lenant Printers that wanted me to do a video for one of their printers. So it wasn't a paid sponsorship, but it was a free printer. And so I did like I got this printer in, and it was really cool because I never got anything free like this. I'm just starting my YouTube channel, so it was really really neat that these people were taking a chance on me with very little subscribers, very little watch hours. So I mean it was one of those things. Hey, let me take a time out for a second. Hold on. Thank you, Cyber Hobbit. I appreciate it, man. Keep at it, dude. YouTube is really hard. I've struggled too. Do you ever make any prop replicas, or is usually just statues? Also, please still watch Lord of the Rings. I am still going to watch Lord of the Rings. The wife is going to make me do that, and I appreciate it, man. $20. I thank you so much. And by the way, guys, if you like the channel and everything like that, do me a favor right now and hit that like button for me. The more likes we get, comments, and everything like that, of course, the more people that we get put in front of that might not know about the channel. So that greatly helps me out, and I appreciate every bit of it. So going back to this, and yes, I will be doing prop replicas. I'm actually getting ready to set up a couple of filament printers, FDM printers, to where I can actually do some of that stuff. So thanks again, Cyber Hobbit. I appreciate it. So anyway, Lynette contacted me and wanted me to do a video for their printer. And if you guys have probably seen the video. And so that right there opened the door to a long-term sponsorship from them, even though I'm not getting paid for the videos, but they wound up sending me, I think I've gotten like 4 printers from them now, bunches of resin, FEP sheets, things like that. So it's a matter of, we have a very good working relationship, collaboration relationship right now. So that was my first one. And that allowed me to open up the door to make more videos by doing reviews and everything. And I guess a lot of people, a lot of vendors actually seen some of those videos and also started reaching out to me, sending me paint, airbrushes, all kinds of stuff like that. The one thing that I can say is be careful with those sort of things too, because I get the false ones, the fake ones or whatever, the ones who really just I guess I don't know if they're sending you spam or whatever like that, or they just trying to collect information. But what I can say is this: if you're in a YouTube situation, or if you're in a social media situation, and you got somebody contacting you, wanting to sponsor one of your videos, wanting to send you free stuff or anything like that to do a video for, if you want to do it, great. But the red flags that this could be a bogus thing is if they ask you for any money up front. Okay. If anybody is asking you, okay, the big thing is they'll say, well, if you purchase it on Amazon and send us the invoice or whatever like that, we'll pay you back through your PayPal. If anybody is asking you to do that sort of thing, then don't do it, because a real, I'll say 9.9 times out of 10, if somebody is wanting you to promote one of their products and do a YouTube video for it, they're not going to ask they're not going to ask you for any money in order to do this. So if they send you the product, make sure you do the video and everything, and you can develop a really good working relationship with these people. So that is one way right there to get free stuff to help you keep printing. And of course, when you make videos, if you get monetized and stuff, you actually make a little bit of money off of your videos. So if your video goes viral, then you make a lot of money. So it really helps out with the integrity sort of thing, in having other vendors reach out to you and want to collaborate with you to do videos for products of theirs. So that right there was one way that I actually was able to start printing more and painting more, making more videos. Because without that right there, let me tell you, it'll break you. I mean, especially as much as I print and paint. When you start, if you're into 3D printing, I mean, which I'm assuming that most of you guys are, or all of you are, then you know the costs involved with it. By the time you buy your printers, you buy your resin, your paint brushes. Of course, that's if you paint your models, all kinds of stuff. By the time you pay for your Patreons, by the time you pay for your files that you may get, you can run into the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And it's, that drives a lot of people away because of the cost involved with it. It's an expensive hobby, but it's a hobby that is fun. And if you treat it as that rather than treating it as a business, and to this very day, I don't think of this as a business. I mean, I really think that this is something that I enjoy. I make the videos when I want to make them. I'm not keeping up with a schedule like most YouTubers are, like a lot of 3D printers may do. They feel like, oh man, I got to put out a video this week. I got to put out a video this week. Now I say that, but I'm like really not under any stress at all to really do any of that, because I do it as I see fit. I mean, because there's a lot of times where, I may want to spend time with my family, spend time with my wife. I work a full-time job. I'm in management, so that's a lot of stress that's on me. And there's sometimes I want to come home and I don't want to do anything but just kind of sit back and relax and play with my granddogs or something like that, or just I may want to just watch YouTube videos or something of that nature. But I don't put any undue stress on me, and that's another thing that you might want to take into account. If you're trying to do this as a business or whatever, then that's up to you. But if you enjoy doing what you do, you make good videos. I still think a lot of my videos are horrible. I think I got a long way to go, but I try to be informative on a lot of them. I try to be thorough. But if you do that and you give people a sense of value, then you're going to get the views, you're going to get the subscribers, and then your sponsors are going to be kind of going through and going, oh, here's somebody who's got 18,000 subscribers. Let's see if they want to promote one of our on a product on them or whatever. My wife says calling BS on the no self-imposed stress. It is. I do it to myself because I want to put stuff out there for you guys to watch. But yeah. Yeah, I have grand dogs. I have two. My son has two poodles, and I call them my grand dogs. Yeah. Anyway. So thanks to my wife. Thank you, honey. No self-imposed stress. Um if you guys know my wife, you see on here, she's very vocal on here, so she keeps me in line. I've been, and she has been telling me that we are going to do the Lord of the Rings thing. They want to do it in a binge watching sort of thing. And I can't, I don't have like 6, 8, 7, whatever hours, 20 hours to watch all those movies. But anyway, um, so another thing that you can do to make money and actually print for free, like have money coming in enough to where you can buy your supplies and not really take out of your paycheck, your from your day job if you work a day job or anything like that, is besides from YouTube ad revenue and sponsorships, um, um, is affiliate marketing. So I partnered with Amazon Affiliate Marketing, and if you know, in the description of all my videos, including this one here, I list products and stuff that I use in my videos. These are some things that I buy to in order to do the videos, but again, it's coming from a lot of the ad revenue or sponsorship dollars. Now, now there I've had a couple of people actually pay for a video, and that comes later down in the line, and that can be pretty decent money. I mean, depending on what they want you to do a video for and who it's from, then you kind of make your prices. You can Some people may pay you $50 to do a video. Some people may pay you $150. I actually almost had a deal with a very reputable gaming company that actually wanted to give me several thousands of dollars to do 2 videos for them, but that deal kind of fell through. Wah, wah. But anyway, you can make money through that way. So the affiliate marketing thing, how I got wrapped up in that was I just applied. There was nobody that really reached out to me from Amazon or anything like that. I had a YouTube channel. I just went through, filled out all the necessary paperwork and everything like that, or work online and on the online paperwork, and they approved me. And so now basically all I do is I get links and put them in descriptions, and every time somebody clicks on a link and buys something off there, I get a small commission. Um, I will say that you don't have to limit yourself to just YouTube and Instagram and all that, whatever your social media sites are. The one thing that I'm working on right now that's actually been very beneficial for me is a Pinterest page. So I've got a Pinterest page where I'm actually posting just links and stuff on there for products, links in description or whatever like that, and maybe some pictures of the product that I'm using. Now, the one good thing about Pinterest is, and you don't have to just put pictures or links of the products that you're using. You have all of Amazon that you can use. And so one thing that I learned to do was I learned to go on there. They have like a listing of popular products, top 10 products or top trending products or whatever. And I'll actually just go on and get those links for that and post them on my Pinterest page. So when people just, and it can be a fountain pen or something like that. I mean, just something unique or whatever, or a mouse that goes to a computer or whatever. But I'll post the link on there. When they click on it and they purchase something through the link, which means they don't have to purchase that particular product, they can go purchase something else. But as long as they click the link and it leads to something else, they keep clicking or whatever, keep shopping through that initial click, then you get a commission off of that. So can be very lucrative in making you some money to where you can just get your stuff for free. Basically, it's nothing's coming out of your hip pocket. There's nothing that you have to do specifically, anything special or what have you. But it works. I know that there's tons of YouTube videos out there telling you about affiliate marketing and everything, but it works. My revenue, I think the first revenue check I think I got was like $40. That's not, it's $40 I didn't have before, and it helped me buy some paints and some brushes. So, now I am making several hundreds of dollars every month off of ad revenue. I think my biggest month I think I drew $1,005 off of just affiliate marketing um, from Amazon, which that was pretty big. I really wasn't expecting that one. I think that was back in May of this past year. So now it's a matter of, I just make a few $100s, but that allows me to put back into the channel. So I don't have to fork out anything out of my own hip pocket. I'm essentially buying my products. Basically, I mean, they're coming in free from sponsorships and things like that, but this allows me to put back into the channel. Doesn't cause me any financial issues or whatever like that out of my day job. I'm still able to pay my bills with no problem. But I mean, that's just me. You can take some of this money and use it for whatever you want to, but for me this has been beneficial. So that is another thing that you can do to make a little bit of money. The other thing that you can do, of course, is Patreon. I just really started really ramping up my Patreon. And one thing that I'm doing is all the money that I'm getting from Patreon now and all of my ad revenue and all of my affiliate marketing is just going back in mainly towards the Patreon now, because I'm actually commissioning artists to come up with a model to for the Patreon. So now Patreon now is probably my biggest revenue stream that I got coming in, but I don't take anything out of it. Everything goes back into it, because now when you start commissioning models from artists and everything like that, they can be costly. They can be they can be expensive. So that's what I'm trying to do in order to build the community, get people involved in the printing and painting, get people to tune into the channel. So everything that I got coming in right now is just essentially going back. Now I have been able to buy things like this microphone here. If you guys tuned in my live streams, initially the everything really sucked. I mean, I had some really cheap equipment, but I allowed myself to get a microphone, a camera, a few other things, and that I can use for the live stream. So, and spend a little bit of money in fixing up the room so I can still make videos and everything. So that's been beneficial for me as well. But everything I pretty much got coming in goes back into the channel, and it's going to be that way for a while. So I have goals. Like one of my goals is to, of course, grow the channel. But I have a set target to where once I reach that goal, then I'm going to do something, add something a little bit more to the channel, because by then, with a certain amount of subscribers, certain amount of views, certain amount of Patreons, I can actually do that and offer more back to the viewers and subscribers and patrons. So, like for example, we're sitting at now at I think at 18,612 subscribers. Okay. For some people, that's not a lot. For me, that's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's a lot of people. So I have a goal of getting to 25,000. Once I get to 25,000, then I'll create another goal for myself. So at 25,000 subscribers, I plan on doing something really extra special for my Patreon members. And I'm actually going to do something for the channel, something like a giveaway or something like that. Just because I want to just give back. I mean, this isn't something that I look to be rich off of or anything like that. And neither should you, because it takes years to do this. You got people who are able to do this. You got people who are able to do this on a full-time basis, and there's no way I can do it right now. But who knows what the future holds or whatever. So once I get to 25, we'll do something special. And then once we get to 50,000, we'll do something special. And then after that, if I'm ever able to get to 100,000 subscribers, you guys are going to have to come over here and tie me down, because I'm going to be going nuts. um, but yeah, so that's the plan, and that's the goals that I'm setting. But in the meantime, I can think of what I'm doing now to bring in revenue, to keep me printing. That way I don't have to bring anything out of my own hip pocket or out of my own wallet or whatever like that to take away from me paying bills or providing for my family. But as long as I'm able to do that, then I'm good with it. Um, so that's another thing. So the other thing that I have not tried yet, that I'm thinking about doing, but I kind of like scratch my head a little bit because I'm not sure how it works, and that's subscriptions for the channel. I've seen a lot of people do subscriptions, for for their channel and everything. I'm not sure how that works because to me, I don't know if I can dedicate enough time to do like creative content for the subscription people. I'll get it right in a minute. Versus my Patreon members, and continue to do live stream, continue to do videos, because that's a lot of work. And the one thing I don't want to do is be taking money from somebody and not giving them something in return for the subscribers or whatever. So I'm kind of holding off on that. Oh yeah, plus I'm doing merch as well. Don't forget about that, guys. If you're looking to get like a shirt or hat or something like that, visit my merch. Again, that's not anything that I think I've probably had maybe a total of 4 or 5 orders off of it that I can think of. That's not going to get you rich, but again, it's another thing that once you get cooking with it, maybe it'll get better. Who knows? But that's another way of getting, again, 4 or 5 orders. It's like 20, 30 bucks in profit. That'll help you get another bottle of resin to keep you printing and stuff. So those are some of the things that you could do. You could also do Etsy. I refuse to do Etsy. I've heard a lot of bad things about it. I really don't. I kind of just shy away from that channel or from that site. And then, I don't want to put any models on there because a lot of the models that you see on there are stolen. I don't want to print out anything and sell a product. I just don't have one. I just don't have time to do it. And I'm not going to run the risk of copyright infringement and somebody coming down on me. So that's another thing. The one thing is, if you are a modeler, of course, Patreon's the way to go. Personally, I think I've seen a lot of people grow Patreons and make a lot of money out of it to where they can actually do that alone full time and not have a job. I mean, that's their job. You think of what is it, Hex 3D? What does that guy got, like 30,000 subscribers or something like that? Oh my God. I can't remember how many subscribers he's got, but that's somebody like that who is creating their own product, their own models. You don't have to worry about copyright infringement or anything like that. And they're putting out a Patreon and they're making cash. I mean, they're making, some of these guys are making $5, $10, $15,000 a month. And they don't have to worry about copyright infringement or anything like that. The only thing that you really have to worry about is Uncle Sam, and sending them some of the money back to where you don't have to get nailed to the cross from not paying your taxes at the end of the year. So that's another thing to take into consideration. So that's one thing that I do as well. I put some money back into savings or whatever like that. So at the end of the year, I'm not tapping into my own money, and I can realistically pay taxes and stuff and not wind up next to Wesley Snipes in jail for tax evasion. I'm sorry, that was a cheap one. So let's see here. Let me answer a couple of questions here. I've been running off the mouth here nonstop for about 30 minutes. Shay wants to know if I'm going to do interview any more Patreons, and the answer is yes, I am. I'm going to be doing that in the near future. Let's see. Dale says, totally new to the 3D printing world. I got into improve my mental health. Never gave it any thought to make any money from it. So yeah, a lot of people think the same way you do, Dale. And if you really want to get into it, to get it to keep paying for itself, I mean, you've got to put out some sort of content, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, or whatever. Twitter. I don't know if you can do anything with Twitter. I avoid Twitter. So I mean, it's one of those things that it's a life choice. If you want to do it full time and create a business from it, then go for it. I choose not to do that, simply because I don't want to run the risk of, if you put out a couple bad videos and, um, and then you have just a bad week, bad month or whatever, where you don't get many viewers. It's almost like working on commission. And actually it is working on commission, because your videos don't get views, then you don't get paid. And I really don't want to do that. So Diamond Dog says he's doing it as a full-time job, and saying he got laid off 3 weeks ago and he's doing this full tilt. So, hey, I mean, that's an option to do. I will tell you that I have several people that I talk to, that I correspond with, that we're doing YouTube on a part-time basis, making a little bit of money, not very much, just enough just to kind of keep going or whatever. And they got laid off their job. And now I know two guys that are actually doing it full time, and they're doing it really well. And they're making buku bucks. Of course, they're doing a lot of tech stuff. So tech is one of those fields that there is always demand for it. This is something unique here with 3D printing. Not everybody's into it. So it's just a matter of, you got to get with the right people in order to sponsor you, get affiliate marketing, make money at it, so you can keep making more videos and so on and so forth. But yeah, um, so uh, so we covered YouTube ad revenue. We've covered affiliate marketing. We covered a little bit on Patreon. Um, and then the other thing that you can do is, once you start getting people to sponsor you, and if you're getting printers in or filament or whatever like that, if you want to do the Etsy thing and start doing some sort of print farm, which there's quite a few people who do that, then absolutely, you can make some money off of that. You get hooked up with a school system, or just target a certain audience, that like stay-at-home moms. I've went over this before, but like, if you get a hold of somebody like a stay-at-home mom, that type of audience stays home with their kids, they're looking for activities or something like that, you could print stuff on Etsy and sell it on Etsy, and those guys will just gobble it up. I mean, think about it, like these I don't have one near me right now, but you remember those print in place, like the dragons and stuff like that, they were hugely popular. I mean, some people made a lot of money off of those. I think Uncle Jesse said he was making like $3,000 a week or something like that. I might be a little wrong, but that's nothing to sneeze at, guys. That's a pretty good chunk of change. That's more than I'm making a week for my full-time job. So it is a matter of preference. It's a matter of if you can juggle it. I mean, by all means, if you're a designer, the advantage is in your court, because you can come up with unique product that nobody can copyright or trademark or anything like that. You don't have to worry about getting sued from Disney or DC or whatever like that. And you could be putting out a Patreon, and if it's a really catchy product, then people will buy it. People will buy the file. And the other thing too is, if you're part of a Patreon and you want to start making money and stuff with some of these unique products, a lot of these guys will actually sell you the license for a small nominal fee every month. That way you can start selling prints and put them on eBay or your own website or something to that nature, and make you a little bit of cash. So, I mean, that's an option. I can't remember who, there was a few people that were charging like $10 a month, and you could print as many as you want to. But that's not bad at all, guys. It takes all the guesswork out of it. You don't have to worry about, somebody coming down on you, sending you a cease and desist order or anything like that. You just slap it on your printer. You start making a few, whatever, you put them up for sale on a site. And then the next thing you know, you got some revenue rolling in. That could take off for you really well, to where you can really start making your own, having your own cash cow. Or it can be just enough to where you can keep getting product in, whether it be resin or filament or anything like that, and help keeping you stocked to making your own stuff, making more stuff to sell or whatnot. So essentially, you're printing for free. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, you can, if you're good at it, you have to do some work, you have to do some marketing, and nothing's just going to fall in your lap just overnight. But if you want to have fun with it and you want this thing to pay for itself, then those are some of the ways that you can do it. Um, there's a couple of other ways that you could possibly do it. I'm probably sure I'm not touching in on some of it. I'm kind of drawing a blank here for a second. But printing models and stuff, you just got to be careful not to infringe on any copyrights or anything like that. When you have a Patreon or whatever, and you start developing something and start putting something on there, then you can get the attention of the wrong people and they can shut you down. So just be mindful of that. I do what I do on my Patreon, not to make a ton of money. Again, I'm just doing it for the Patreon members for supporting the channel. So it's not like I'm putting out an abundance of models every month and making thousands of dollars every month. Lord, if I did anything like that, I think I would be scared just to that somebody would be looking after me or whatever. So yeah, so I mean that's some of the things that you can do. I mean, if you want to keep in the game, you want to print more and more, or if you just want to put a little change in your pocket, that is some things that you can do. And well, here's another thing too. If you don't have any means of wanting to go onto social media, then look at some of your crafts fairs. Look at some of your churches and stuff like that that do a lot of like some sort of like craft bazaar or craft fair, little small conventions or something to that nature. Print some stuff and go there, and some physical prints, and sell it there. I mean, there's some people who make a little bit of side hustle by doing that. Um, I mean, it's just one of those things that you can do. Let's see. Joseph says, depending on what you make, a good place to check is with your local hobby store. I sell landscape pieces there in a convenience store. So yeah, if you have like a local comic book store, and you want to go in there, maybe talk to the owner and say, hey, I do 3D printing and painting or whatever, and I'd like to maybe put on maybe a couple of things on consignment here, and see what happens. I'm just trying to get into it and test the waters. You can do something like that. I mean, there's people who do that all the time. Um, and auctions, like Batman Rod says, you can go to like certain auctions and do things like that. The one really cool thing that you could do is getting in touch with your community. So, like, there are community centers out there that you could possibly do some volunteer stuff, um, maybe like put up some stuff for a raffle or something like that. And what they'll do is you're giving it away, but at the same time, these people that are getting this or exposed to your product can go, oh, hey, that guy, I want him. Can you make so and so for me? And then the next thing you know, you got orders coming in for certain things. You just want to connect with people and market your stuff, market your product or whatever. Just get your name out there. Or flea markets. Um, Sarge even says he puts some of his prints in Hobbytown, USA, and have gotten a few customers. Hey, I mean, so those are some of the things that you can do if you're wanting to just make a little bit of money. If you want to make a lot of money, you got to hustle a lot, but that is, I don't do the flea markets or anything like that because, again, I work full time. This is almost a full time job for me. And I mean, this takes up a lot of time for me. But, if you are, dead set on turning this into something for you to make money off of or whatever, those are a few of the options that you have. I'm sure there's more out there, but just kind of look into them and see what you can do. um, I mean, just like any hobby, I mean, you can just you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to go anywhere. If you think that so you're going to put out a couple of videos on YouTube and you're just going to go viral, and then that's all that she wrote, trust me, you're in the wrong thing right here, because I've seen some people um, who have made a couple of videos that have went viral, and their next few videos after that, it just went totally bust. So be consistent if you're going to be making content, and the sponsors will find you. You guys know Greedy 3D, Anthony over there. Anthony's actually getting some sponsorships and stuff. He's growing his channel. So I mean, there's people like that that are really, starting to get into it, that are finding out, hey, this is pretty cool. I use Anthony because, as an example, because he's such a nice guy. And you guys, if you're not part of Greedy 3D, go there and subscribe to his channel. He's such a nice guy, though, and he does some really good stuff. Um, if you really want to make money, you got to be cheap and have a lot of output. Yeah, but the one thing I'll say this is, do not sacrifice quality over quantity, because once you start doing that and you start cutting corners, you will eventually piss off customers, and they'll leave you. Word of mouth will get around. They won't order from you anymore, and then you'll just kind of be out in left field, you know, not doing anything. Um, but the other thing too that you can do also for 3D printing is commission work. Commission work can be anything from printing. It can be painting, or you could be painting kits. You could be painting 3D prints. You could be painting action figures. You could be painting just whatever, doing repaints for models and stuff. There's money in that, but again, when you start doing things like that, when you start actually putting a physical product in front of somebody like that, there's always the stress and the worry about, um, does the customer like it? Are they going to be nitpicky? Is this nice enough for them to buy or whatever? You will run into those problems. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So take that into consideration too. Um, Yeah, so Joseph is right. This is one thing that I will say. I think I touched on a little bit earlier. 3D printing is a very niche market, and it is one that is hard to attract new subscribers. You have to be consistent. Um, this is true. You have to be innovative too. You cannot be doing the same thing all the time. One thing that I had a discussion with my wife about the other day was, I noticed that like tutorials that I put out do a lot better than just paint ups, because you're giving a sense of value back to the viewer. You're giving them something to click on and tune into, and something they can find useful. You can print a model, like I can print this thing, this Punisher model here, and paint him up all day long. Uh, but unless I'm actually showing you how to do something specific, and teaching you something or showing you something that you could do with your own models, then there's really no sense in watching the video, unless you just like, just like watching somebody paint stuff. There's people who do that. I mean, there's people who like to watch those sort of videos, but for the most part, when you're doing YouTube and everything, you have to give something, a sense of value into something to what you're doing. So keep that in mind too. I love printing and painting stuff just for people just to see. Um, and yeah, it doesn't. Some of the videos go great. Some of the videos don't. They go bust. But again, let's going back to what I said before. I do it because I want to do it, not because I feel like I have to do it. Sometimes, as my wife stated earlier, I'll be ripping and ramping throughout the house and going, I need to put out a new video. I need to put out a new video, only because I really just want to make sure that I am consistent, and I'm giving people something to watch. Just because I like doing it too. So I mean, my wife says she keeps telling me to do time lapses of statue painting, which is more accessible to the general public. Tutorials are great, but there's a smaller niche audience for those. Yeah, we kind of have a difference of opinion on that one, but she's not wrong. I'll say that. But so we went over a few things to tell you how to make money, how to get free stuff from sponsors. Um, the biggest thing that you have to take into consideration is you have to get started. Um, but getting started is the big thing. Go out and get a printer, go out and whatever printer you kind of want to get, whether it's FDM, whether it's resin or whatever like that. Do your research, decide what you want to do, which printer you want to get it, and just start printing and filming it. Um, just start getting some stuff out there, get some videos out there. If it's a short, fine. If it's a tutorial, fine. If it's a print and paint up, fine. But just start filming, start editing, posting it out there, getting a good thumbnail out there. And then the next thing you know, you're going to get attention from, people who might want you to promote their product. Um, so yeah, Tiny Little says that, there are great channels out there that do tutorials. Might as well try something different. If you can come up with something different, something unique or whatever, then that's where it is. So I mean, it's a you know if you want to incorporate props and replicas, cosplay and stuff like that in with your channel, which is something that I'm going to be doing soon. Once I get everything set up and stuff, I'm going to kind of branch out a little bit because let's face it, how many times can you watch a video of somebody painting Spider-Man? Some people can do it all day long, but the majority of us want to just, I want something different. I want to just, I want to branch out and I want to, do something, incorporate something different into the channel. So, oh, wow, Rebecca, awesome job. Rebecca says she just grossed $1,800 at the Tucson Comic-Con selling miniatures. That is awesome. So there are a lot of mini channels out there. Let me tell you too, I watched the video the other day. I can't remember who it is. If anybody knows in the comments, let me know. Post in there. There was a guy and had like 3 or 4 girls, and they all like lived in this house, and they purchased old miniatures and stuff off of eBay, and they repainted them and sold them. And then they also have like people commissioning minis for them to paint and sell. And I don't know if the guy's telling the truth or not, but he was saying that they're grossing anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 a month off of doing this. Now, keep in mind, there's like 4 or 5 people who are doing these, but they show the video where they have all of these set up in different rooms of their houses. There's different phases that they kind of go through, and it's what's cool is they have 3 different tiers. The way they were doing it, so you get like a standard paint job, which is you paint it up. That's about it. You have a mid where you paint it up, gets a few of the details or whatever like that, and you charge a little bit more of a price for it. And then they have a premium tier, which gets all the bells and whistles, all of the textures and stuff like that on the bases, the fake grasses and everything like that, and tons of detail. And that is a higher, tier for you to buy models off of. They claim they're game ready, so I think that's what their big sales pitch was. And the guy actually had a room set up. He had cabinets all around it and everything. That he had everything like a studio all set up to where he could use this as a marketing tool to show what different tiers look like. And he's got his own website and everything like that. That is a lot of work to do. But I tell you, once you get something like that up and running, that is pretty badass. You got to admit, that's a good hustle right there. That is a full-time job. And this wasn't a little tiny house that they lived in. This was a big 2.5-2-story house. It was pretty big. So, but that was their job. Let's see. So Richard says, do time lapses if you get to something important, slow down and explain the process. And that's what I try to do in my videos. I mean, because I can go, you paint this, you put this on there. And then if there's something important, then I'll slow it down and kind of go over it. Huey says, I'll only watch a statue painting wants to see how it's done unless it's the same as what I'm painting now. I will watch tutorials more than once to learn. So yeah, I think that's a lot of what I'm kind of um, talking about with the tutorials. Like I just did a revamped version of my skin tones that I actually put in a couple of extra things that I'm doing now with them, and it's a little bit more advanced than like the some other tutorials that you may see, but still. I'm updating and I'm passing along information. That video turned out really good. Thank you for watching. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. If you've watched it, go watch it again. um, Joseph wants to know if I've heard from Monument Hobbies. Um, no, sir, I have not. I have not heard anything from Monument Hobbies. You actually talked to somebody. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool, man. Um, no, so what Joseph is referring to is Monument Hobbies make a very good pro acryl paint that I've actually started using. I was using it today, and they actually have signature series. So I was kind of joking one day and I was like, well, Monument Hobbies needs to make a creative collector signature series. That would be cool. And the next thing you know, a lot of my Patreon members are like, hey, they're writing in, they're texting these guys and they're calling them and everything like that. That's pretty cool. I would love to have a signature series that I could put out for those guys. I mean, to me, that would be like, I would feel like a celebrity then. I would feel like I've accomplished something. So, but yeah, if I could make that happen, that would be cool. But I would love to do something like that. I mean, the stuff like that, man. I mean, I'm sure they don't pay you anything. They may give you a couple of paint sets for free, but I don't care. I mean, that would be pretty neat. I mean, and the exposure that the channel would get, I mean, that would be awesome. So I will say this, and thank you, Joseph, for doing that, man. But what a lot of people don't understand is when you start a Patreon such as what we have, and right now we have close to about 200 members in the Patreon, and uh, if I were just to take and and just make nothing but models for these guys right now, a couple of models a month or whatever, that'd be great. Um, but one thing I can say is if the Patreon gets bigger, then what we can do is hire maybe an extra artist, uh, pay for an artist that does a little bit more detail oriented work. Not to say that, FP Artworks, the guy who does my stuff, is phenomenal artist. Um, but not overwhelm your artist, and we can keep investing back into the channel, doing some really cool stuff, really cool dioramas or something like that. That would be awesome. So it benefits the Patreon members if the channel gets bigger and we get more people in. So by all means, especially if you're wanting to reinvest back into the channel like I do. So that all benefits everybody. Um, all right, Chuck's got a good idea here. How about this one, Chuck? Would be great to do one on different airbrush sizes and what PSI for different applications. So I am actually going to be doing a review for Gallery, their airbrush line, and I'll actually cover that in there. Different PSIs for what applications you're going to be using, different ways that you can use the airbrush for detailing. So anything from base coat spraying to do fine details. I'm going to cover all of that in this video because I've been using these airbrushes and I really like them. So hopefully we can get that one done relatively soon. Right now, I am working on the Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider is probably about this big. And I spent literally today, I spent about 5 hours of just putting down the base coat black on the majority of it because I'm going to be doing some zenithal highlights. I'm going to be doing some flames, some different stuff on the flame wheels and stuff that I haven't done before. Yeah, it's been working on that one, taking my time with it. All right. So, we're coming up on an hour. So I guess, right now we'll spend the next 25, 30 minutes or so like that, maybe doing some Q&A. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight of how, some YouTubers make money, like myself, and how we keep going to, keep poking along here and letting everything pay for itself, and, keep up with the hobby and everything. I mean, this can be expensive. Um, the next thing you know, you're like me and you're printing ridiculously ridiculously huge models, and not knowing what to do, where to put them, having trouble like that, like I am right now, but I got it figured out. But and again, you're talking about, sponsors taking their time to get you to try a product and promote it and everything like that. So that is really cool when they start reaching out to you like that. It gives you a sense of success, that you've done something right and people are watching your videos, and that's really a good feeling. Um, Thank you, Alejandro. I appreciate it. So here's a good Q&A here. Rebecca wants to know, when you do a quarter scale statue, what do you multiply to try and get to get the scale? So that's a really open-ended question, because it really depends on what the base model is set in. So for example, if I have a Wicked piece, I know that Wicked makes all of their statues, all their figures in 1/6 scale, and all of their busts are pretty much already in quarter scale. So if I want to do quarter scale bust, all I got to do is just put it on the build plate and print it. However, if you want to jump from 1/6 to 1/4 scale, basically it's uh, upsizing it by 50%. That's just common math. If you want to go to 1/3 scale, you're going to bump it up 100%, and so on and so forth. Sanix actually has a scaling thing on their site, which is very, very useful, depending on what size the initial model is from the get-go. So depending on what it is, that's usually how it is. Now, one thing that I did to make it much easier was I took a model of just a 1/6 scale model. Say, for example, I think the one that I have is a Captain America model. So when I get something that looks teeny tiny or whatever, I put that head on the build plate, and then I put the other one on there, and I scale it up by percentage or whatever like that until it's the right scale sitting side by side. And so when you do that, you can say, okay, I just ballooned it up to 225%. So that's what I know to increase the rest of the model to. So it makes it that much easier. And in scaling, I do that a lot because that one model, I know it's at the scale that I want it. So I just got to make sure everything fits the right way. Now, if you're doing something awkward like Ninja Turtles, then of course you kind of have to play with that a little bit, because their anatomy is different, their heads are shaped different, but you don't want to make them too large or too small. So you kind of have to just toy around with it a little bit. Jerry's here. Hey Jerry, how you doing, buddy? So Chuck wants to know, can you do reverse zenithal, spray black from underneath, like white from up top? You can, yeah. I'm actually doing a little bit of that right now with some of the flames on the Ghost Rider model. So yeah, you'll be seeing that in a upcoming video. Alejandro says, in Citadel paints, how much thinner do I need for airbrush? That really depends on your airbrush. I can tell you different ratios to use. It may work, it may not work. Once you fiddle with it for a little bit, you'll eventually get the knack of it, and you can start eyeing stuff almost. I mean, it's really, I can sit there and tell you, oh, 70% paint and 30% thinner. It's really not that easy. I mean, the one thing that I would say in the beginning is you want to get that consistency of, everybody says milk. There you go. Jerry says watery like milk. So it's great minds think alike, Jerry. But yeah, mix it in a cup first. Because now what I do is I mix it in the pot on the airbrush. Again, I've been doing it for so long. But once you mix it in a mixing cup, get that consistency, put a little bit in. What I like to do is I like to use a little bit of flow improver. That way it doesn't give you a lot of dry tip on your airbrush. And it just helps out, just comes out a little bit better. Mix it up real good in the pot, and just if you got an old print that just was incomplete or something, work on it, just before you start putting it on your actual model, just practice on it. If you don't have a print or something, get you a piece of poster board. I got like a couple of pieces of poster board over here that every so often I'm just spraying on it and making sure I don't have a big run, or it's not too watery, it's not too thick. So yeah, I mean, it's very helpful to have like, I also got like God, I wish I had it around here, but just a sketch pad with a thick bristle board. I'll just flip it in there, and that's how I like on the last video. I started working with the speckling, with the freckling, and freckling, whatever you want to call it. But that's how you practice. I mean, you get those things before you put them on your actual model. If you take the time to work with stuff like that, oh my God, it's going to be so much easier when you start actually doing it on the model itself. So you got to really just be patient and keep trying things. Would I recommend the $25 mini airbrush? I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but I could tell you there's some airbrushes on there that are fairly cheap that I've used that are actually pretty damn good. So yeah, so Lester here says you can thin it more than you think for airbrushing as long as it doesn't run or pull. It's good to try. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Like whenever you spray it, like on a piece of paper or a bristle board or whatever like that, as long as it's not running, then you're good to go. And also it depends on what you're using for that application. So if you're using detail, I would say do like I start out with a 50-50 ratio, and then I add just a little bit more paint to the mix, because what I typically do is I'll take off the tip of the airbrush to where the needle's exposed. You'll have just a very couple of millimeters, if that, of the needle exposed. That allows you don't have that guard up, so you can actually get to a little closer, like when you're doing fine detail, gets you a little up closer and stuff. And you don't want to put it too thin, because as soon as you do that, it's going to splatter all over the place. But also, we'll go over that in another video. But again, you want to adjust your PSI on your airbrush too. Bring it down a little bit to do that. Do I have a Pred Alien figure? I do not. And you're welcome, by the way, sir. Thank you. No. Quinn says he uses flow improver for thinning paint instead of water most time. Yeah, you can. So I typically don't use water because I want my paint to dry when I put it on there. There's some instances where, because thinner will actually dry quicker than water. If you want it to stay wet for a while to work with it, then use water. But what I like to do with flow improver, I like to do two things. I like to run flow improver through the airbrush a little bit first. That way it kind of, I don't know if it really does anything, but this is just one of those things that's kind of in my head. But I like to think that it actually coats the needle a little bit to keep it from drying out. And then I'll use thinner, a little couple drops of flow improver, mix it up really well, and then shoot it that way. So, yeah, let's see. Okay, here's one. What causes the airbrush from spitting little globs? It usually happens to me between sprays. Whew, so that's a multitude of things that it could be. You could have your paints not thin enough. You got trash in your paint or your airbrush. Chances are you probably need to clean your airbrush. You could have water in your compressor. So if you have a water trap, which usually, if you don't have one in your compressor, recommending getting one, then empty that water trap out. So that will get that condensation out of there. That way you won't have that problem. And when you use water a lot too, it does build up some type of residue in the like between the needle and the paint, where the paint and the air exchange. Um, it does cause a little condensation that gets trapped up into there. So that happens. Does happen. In order to get rid of that, like I said, empty your water trap, empty your, clean out your airbrush really good, clean the needle, brush the inside of it, just totally break it apart and get a good cleaning on it. Another thing that can be is your PSI could be too low. You could be, just spraying just too low. And check your paint too, because if your paint is really old, you can get a lot of, you know, just settlement and stuff inside, sediment and stuff inside of it. The other thing that also a lot of people don't realize too is if you take your paint and you unscrew it on the top of the spout, every time that you take paint and you squirt it into a cup or your airbrush, whatever like that, take you a paper towel and clean that off. Just twist it, clean all that off of there, because that stuff does dry and a little bit of that stuff will go back into your paint, and you're just essentially putting that trash that's in your paint into your airbrush. And if it's dried, no thinner, no water or anything like that's going to dissolve it. It's going to get trapped in your needle, and then you're screwed. So so that's what I do. Like, let me see if I can grab one here. So I'll give you this one right here, for example. So you see how this is right here, where I have a lot of this it's just dry. This is an old paint thing. So where it's just dried around there. A lot of people don't think about that. When you're using your paint, just, and even on the inside of the cap right there, get all that stuff out. Each time that you use your paint. Now, if you have one that's just, you just squirt it or whatever in there, you don't have to usually worry about that. But if you have to take paint off, it gets dried and stuff. Yeah, make sure you get that stuff out of there, because if you don't, that'll wind up in your airbrush, whether it's the little bitty speck of dirt or dust or whatever. That will mess up your needle. You got to think about you're going through a 0.35 millimeter sort of needle, so that can really ruin your day, and it can also cause a lot of spitting and sputtering and stuff with your airbrush. So hope that helps. All right. So anybody got anything else that they want to discuss? Got about 41 people here. Sweet tooth, you're late, dude, but hey, it's better to be late than not at all, right? Guys, while we're kind of waiting for people to post any type of questions on here and anything like that, make sure to go out and hit that like button for me, if you don't mind doing that. And keep in mind too that hey, we do the super thanks here. We already had one from Cyber Hobbit. Thank you very much again, sir. But yeah. And don't forget, I do have a Patreon. The link is in the description below if you want to go through more of this stuff right here, learning how to print and paint and asking questions and stuff, show some of your work or whatever. You can definitely get on the Discord by just doing some printing, or just a couple bucks a month or whatever like that allows you to get over in that community, talk with the guys that can help you out. We just shoot the breeze sometime. We get on there and we do some video conferencing and everything. And if you want to join the $10 tier, that allows you for the models to get the model of the month. We've had some pretty cool models. So it's an exclusive model just for the Patreon. And you can get that within the $10 tier. Sweet Tooth wants to know if he can make a few million with the 3D printer. Yes, sir, you can. Just go out and buy you about 50,000 printers, start printing away, man, and you can make $1 million by the time you're 80. Hey, Matt, how you doing? So let's see. So I'm not sure if we have any Patreon creators on here tonight. Usually in the past few weeks we've had some. So do we have any Patreon creators here that we can give a shout out to? Huh? Huh? Speak in the comments. Let everybody know that you're here. Plug your Patreon. Okay, well, I got a question for you guys. Since we're not hitting anybody coming up with any questions or anything, who would you like to see on here with the interview and the Patreon creator? James, when is the first G.I. Joe model coming out? Hopefully this month. I'm kind of getting a little worried. My artist is backed up a little bit, and he's trying to get out the model as soon as he can. CA3D, okay. Matt, do you have a Patreon? Are you a Patreon creator? If so, post what you are on here. Wicked 3D, I've had on here once before. It's almost next to impossible to get Gabriel on here because he's so busy. So hopefully one of these days, I did tell him that I wanted to get him and his team on here when they had the chance, so we can get anybody introduced and let us see who the artists and stuff were. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Namandi Uzer wants to know, can I airbrush Vallejo model paints? Absolutely. You got to thin them down, and you can do that. Absolutely. Alex from Prey Studios, and put him on the spot about doing Ninja Turtle characters every month. I've chatted with Alex once many years ago. Don't know too much about the guy. He does have a good Patreon though. Okay, Matt, I was asking if you were a Patreon creator. If you were, what is your Patreon? Let's see. James says he really enjoyed Jordan from Vengeance. Yeah, it's cool, dude. Yeah, so how many went over there and signed up for his Patreon? He said he got quite a few people signed up, so awesome. Get Mike and Slow Fuse from Monument Hobbies. That would be cool. I might reach out to those guys and see if they would like to do a live stream together. I know they're in the U.S. What are they, out of Phoenix? I think they're out of Phoenix or something like that. Joseph, you signed up for Vengeance Studios? Okay. I did not realize how much stuff Jordan from Vengeance, how much those guys had. So that's a lot of models. I think he said he had well over 100 models, and you get access to them after, I think, maybe 6 months. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. Quinn, they're in Arizona. Okay, good deal. Yeah, I need to contact those guys from Monument Hobbies. Just maybe they will come on. Who knows? Maybe they'll come on here and shoot the breeze for a little bit. Maybe promote some of their products. That would be awesome. Let's see. Yeah, James, he's got those 13 Ghost models coming up. Okay, so Matt German, you're on printables. Got a model for free. Go check him out, Matt German on printables. We'll release some more models later on. Joseph said he downloaded the catalog. How long did it take you to download that catalog? That's what I want to know. Jules Montalado. Yeah. So I want to have Jules on here. He did say a while back that he would come on. So we just got to work out the logistics and everything and maybe get him on here. Have you looked into STL Flicks? I chatted with somebody from there. I'm not sure who it was or whatever. And I eventually am going to work with those guys. They got some really, really cool stuff. It's just a matter of timing. I've got so much going on right now. I'm backed up on videos that I really want. I like their stuff. They got some really unique stuff on there, and I really want to paint some models and stuff for them. Maybe have the guys on. I don't know, but do a video for them. Richard signed up for Vengeance and Black Forge. I love Black Forge. I love Vengeance. I mean, with that many models, dude, that's 100 models that would take you years to print those probably, unless you're just going and going and going. And Black Forge, my God, that's gotten to be one of my favorite Patreons because the caliber of details that goes into those models, it's unbelievable. They're really putting out some really neat stuff, and it's all original stuff. Quinn says, I guess this as far as Monument Hobbies, it's worth a shot. It's another market for them to hit besides minis. And that's what I'm saying. So why isn't like companies like them and Vallejo, and everybody tells me I'm pronouncing Vallejo right. Is it Vallejo, whatever. I see the V, and that's what I'm going to say. But why don't those companies Citadel is basically just plugging their own stuff. But like a lot of those companies, why don't they get into that sort of game, like for statue painting and everything like that? I just don't understand it. I mean, it's more revenue for them. It's a different market, like you just said, and people would buy their products. I mean, yeah, minis are huge, but statue painting is coming a long way, especially with these high-ass prices that Sideshow and all these other companies are charging. Oh, my God. Senix has the same deal as Vengeance. After a year, you get access to their entire catalog. I can only imagine how big their catalog is because they've been around for a while. Let me see. Matt does lithophanes. Okay. Those are really cool. I like some of those. I've seen some really nice ones. So he says, Namdi says, I'd like to see what Vengeance has. I'm on Wicked and Berserk. Go over there and check out his Patreon. I think you can look up some of the models and see what he has to offer. There's all kinds of stuff, not just comic characters, but there's movie stuff. There's video games. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Had him on here last. If you want to go back and watch the old live stream from like a week or two ago, then he was on here, and he kind of goes over a lot of that stuff and what they got coming up. Very interesting. All right. Garrick, you bought Megs Empanato's whole catalog recently. What all does he have in it? Because I know I'm still a little salty about Megs. I'll tell you why. Because I did the G.I. Joe models that he has, the Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow, and beautiful models. I loved them, and I'm a huge Joe fan, and he was supposed to do Serpentor, and he just never did it. Never did it at all. He got just doing something else, and yeah. Oh, Jerry. Okay. Now I know who Matt is. He's on your weekly hangouts. Okay. I know Matt. I've seen him on there before. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Jerry. Oh, yeah. And you guys, if you're looking for like a hangout, something to do on Saturday, Jerry has go over to the 3DHP. He has kind of like a hangout. He has several different artists that come on there every Saturday, and they sit there and they talk about all kinds of 3D printing things. Jerry's heavily into laser engraving and all kinds of stuff. Jerry's kind of jack of all trades when he comes to that stuff. Pretty cool stuff, and they stay on there for quite some time. So Really good information on there. You can probably learn some stuff. Rebecca says, I've taken Wicked's models and shrunk them into 75 millimeters. I've seen a lot of people do that. Those look really, really cool. Zez Studio. Yeah, so Zez reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and wanted me to print and paint their Deadpool, which I was going to do. But I didn't at the last minute, basically because another YouTuber decided that they're going to do it. I guess they reached out to them too as well. And so that's one thing I won't do. If a Patreon creator wants me to print and paint a model, if I do it, I'll do it. But if they start going to like 3 or 4 different other people and wanting them to do the same thing, I won't do it. Just because I think it's just overkill. Just not going to. So I mean, if you want to see the model, you can look up Zez and he'll tell you who to go to. I'm not mentioning that dude on here. Don't care for him. Random Things was like 25 or so models, Superman, Dragon Ball, the 3 Joes. Okay. I knew he had done a bunch of other stuff, but I was totally unsure of everything. What all he did. I know he's gotten really big into like the arts exhibits or whatever like that. So I think that's kind of what he's turned to. I don't know if he's going to be doing any sort of models like STL files like GI Joe in the near future or anything like that. But hey, if you are a Patreon member for my Patreon, I've already decided on the models that we're going to try and put out in October. October, if everything goes right. And keep in mind, I don't like to pressure my artist into making sure that this stuff just comes out on a certain deadline. I know he will deliver. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer than others, like last month was a little bit longer, but that's okay because we had some really good models. But the 2 models that are slated for October are, now keep in mind, I'm going to do a G.I. Joe model and I'm going to do another model. So the one that I have been wanting to have done for a long time that has not been done in quite some time, at least it's not done by very many, is Deathlock. So we're going to have a Deathlock model for October. And the Joe that we're going to be doing in October is going to be Serpentor. So, and he will have the chariot. Can't have Serpentor without the chariot. So if everything goes right, fingers crossed, we will have those 2 models for October. Now, December, I'm working on something right now that I hope to have for you guys in December. If you're a member of the Patreon, you don't have to be on there 3 months, 6 months, a year, 15 years, 2 days, or whatever. If you're a member in December, hey, that kind of rhymes. I'm going to trademark that, member in December. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, if you are a member in December, if everything goes okay, again, I don't want to make any promises. I can't deliver. But if everything goes right, I am going to have you a really, really, really kick-ass diorama for you in December. I'm working out everything right now on it. And if everything goes right, this will be very, very cool. I think you guys will really, really like it. It is something that is, I'm excited about it. I want to tell you what it is right now, but I'm not going to. So Daryl, to be honest with you, I don't really want to talk about that. I don't want to say anything, out of context about about anybody. I can say that great channel. If you're into that sort of thing or whatever, but that's all I'm going to say. My mommy and daddy told me that if I didn't say I have anything nice to say about anybody, don't say anything at all. So, I don't always do that, but this time I am. But no, it's not the vibe he gives off. It's a little bit more than that, but this isn't the place for that. The black spot pattern on predators is just beyond me. Dude, I tell you what, you're so right. Get those glasses that I talked about, those visors, and take that tip off that airbrush and get up on it close, man. Turn your PSI down to about 20, and then, yeah, you can do it. Am I blurry? Nobody said anything about it. Uh-oh. I don't know why I'm blurry. Oh, well, let's see. I don't know. Not sure what's going on there. Sorry about that. Super blurry? Very blurry. See, on my end, it doesn't look like that. I'm not sure. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm not seeing it on here. Of course, that's just my feed. I don't know. Okay, well, at least you can hear me, right? I'm not doing anything weird or whatever like that. Okay. It may be the signal. I don't know. I'm hardwired in. I'm in 260p right now. Well, that's freaking crazy. Okay. All right. What I'm going to have to do, guys, I'm going to have to find a different streaming service or something like that to where I don't have these problems. In 260p. Is anybody in my house using any type of it looks like I'm on Starlink. Did it just start doing that? Or has it always been like that tonight? I'm a lizard person. Oh man. Was it like that earlier? Somebody let me know. Or has it been like that all night? Or did it just kind of get like that? 15 minutes ago? It's getting better. I don't know. I can tell you right now, we have a shitty internet service here where I live. And I'm not sure if that's something that's causing it or whatever. 10 or 15 minutes ago? I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep going along, guys. I'm sorry about it again. I mean, it's just, I'm probably going to go ahead and have to just sign up for some, no, I'm not downloading anything. Is anybody in my house downloading anything? My wife just sent me a picture. Yeah, that's bad. Might be Windows update. No, it's not updating anything. Nothing. Okay. Nobody's uploading. It's just probably just a crappy internet service. Who knows? No, I did not forget to pay my bill. Did not forget to pay it. Yeah, Chuck, right. Chuck is right. I'm not on here for my damn looks. So anyway, all right, we'll keep going along here and hopefully it gets better. If it doesn't, we're almost done anyway, guys. We're about an hour and 30 minutes into it. And yeah, I've got to go to work in the morning. So anywho, what were we talking about? I think I was answering questions. See, just this shit just throws my whole vibe off here. Yeah, my wife just sent me a picture too, and she said it looks just really blurry. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those. I don't know. Is it one of those Bloody Mary things or whatever? Say Bloody Mary 3 times or whatever, and it just old school cable ISP. Everyone else in the neighborhood is downloading the entire internet. You're probably right. Again, one of these. This internet service we got here is terrible. And the streaming service too. I think after a certain amount of time, Jerry, tell me if I'm wrong. I think you use StreamYard, but after you've been on it for a certain amount of time, I think it takes away your bandwidth or your signal or whatever starts to get really bad on the free version. Yeah, I think I was on dial-up. Stepping off sculpts. Certainly room for improvement, particularly in terms of time management. Should I make an improved survey among my patrons? Send me a private message on Instagram if you're on Instagram or through Facebook, and we'll take a look. Okay, Jerry pays $25 a month for 720p. So how can Alejandro? You can send it same thing through either Instagram or Facebook. Yeah, you can send it through there. So I guess I'm probably going to have to cough up the $25 a month in order to pay for streaming that looks halfway decent. Anywho, well, here's a question. Debunked wants to know: has anybody thought about finding modelers and doing their own Patreon? That's kind of what we do right now. It's kind of what I do over here. So I don't make the models myself. I actually commission them out and actually do the models through the Patreon. But yeah, there's several people who do that. You just got to get with the right modeler. I mean, it's a trust issue sort of thing. You don't make sure they want to dick you over or anything. But there's some people who do that sort of thing. The address on Facebook is just The Creative Collector. I'm not sure. I can't post a link on here. All right. You upped your plan to a gigablast at $79.99 a month to come. Okay. I'll look into that. Yeah, because I'm tired of this crap. Need to get a better streaming service or pay service. Again, this is one of those things that if you want to make better content, you have to invest in. But when you don't make a lot of money, I mean, it's kind of tough, you know. All right, guys. I guess that's all I've got for this evening. Sorry, everything. The video turned out to be crappy towards the end. But everybody said the audio was fine. That's good. So I will look into a couple of things that somebody said earlier. Look into a couple of Patreon creators and get them on here, and I will look into maybe contacting Monument Hobbies, or maybe seeing if those guys want to come on. I'll talk with Jules. I will probably reach out to a couple of creators, see if they want to come on or anything like that, and kind of taking it, you know, and letting you see what they've got. I think that really everybody liked that when Jordan was on here with Vengeance. Of course, we've had Jerry on here a couple times. Everybody liked Jerry being on. They liked Anthony being on. So definitely we'll look into that. But don't forget, guys, I would love to get Jeff from Hex 3D on here, but he is like super, super busy. I totally get why he is just, yeah. So anyway, guys, make sure to hit that like button for me as well. Check out the newest video if you're looking to learn how to do skin tones. Did some updating on that. And I am getting ready to sign off here. Any update on my FDM? Yeah, I'm still working on getting everything set up. All right, guys. I will see you guys in the next video or the next live stream. We'll have a live stream next week. I'll make sure to post it more than a day ahead of time. Then the week after that, we won't have one because I will be on vacation. I will be out of town. But working on a new video for you guys. I'll have a couple of reviews probably coming up here relatively soon. Working on another tutorial, doing all kinds of stuff like that. But guys, thank you for tuning in for tonight. Take it easy, everyone. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Alejandro, John, Jerry, all you guys. Just be safe out there, guys. Until the next video, stay safe. Don't forget, print. I don't know what that was. It just went across here, just like flickered or whatever. But anyway, print, prep, paint, repeat. And until the next time, guys, everybody, thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you.